Hey there, it's Mitzi. Welcome to my channel. So I need your help today. I need you to help me decide on a book, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. Before that, though, I want to talk to you about a couple of books I've read, and then also I received 2 more books from a friend. So a couple of weeks ago, I shared a video where a friend of mine from church, her sister, watches my channel, and she had Agatha Christie, a whole set of Agatha Christie books, 3 bags full. And she sent them to me. My friend from church went to visit her sister, and so she came back after the visit with 3 bags of Agatha Christie books. So if you're interested in that, I'll try to leave a link in the description box or in the cards or somewhere, so look for that. So if you're interested in Agatha Christie, look for that. But she gave me 2 more books last week, and that is Agatha Christie 5 Complete Miss Marple novels. This one has 5 of Miss Marple's novels in this one book. So those are always wonderful to have. I think I mentioned that before. It's great if you can get your hands on these because there are so many books by Agatha Christie. So if you can get a bind up like this, it's good to have so you can just keep going if you're enjoying them as much as I do. So thank you for that. And then she also gave me the Dickens Dictionary. I had never heard of this, but I was really excited because, as you know, I am reading through the Charles Dickens novels, and I'm really enjoying that. I happen to be a huge Charles Dickens fan so far. I've read more than half of them. I only have a handful left, and I have loved every one. Now, of course, some I love more than others, but I've really enjoyed every reading of the novels that I've read by Charles Dickens. So this is wonderful. On the back it says it's an alphabetical directory to the key characters and major events in the tales of Charles Dickens. So I love this. This will be a great way for me to celebrate those books. And when I talk about all the books at the end, because I do plan on ranking all the Charles Dickens novels once I'm finished. That's a huge project that I've been working on for years now. And when I finish, I will definitely refer to this and celebrate with these type books. Now, let's talk about what I've been reading. I have read 2 books that I want to talk about. The first one I mentioned recently in an update, and that is The Luckiest Girl by Beverly Cleary. And I read this for the retro romance. I was in the mood for some of those old retro romances, and I had picked up Jean and Johnny by Beverly Cleary, and then I just had to pick up The Luckiest Girl too. And now I really want to pick up more because these just take me down memory lane. This is a reread for me, and it was just nostalgic and absolutely wonderful to read. So this was published in 1958. It has 288 pages, and I said the genre was tween romance, like a middle grade tween romance. At the time it was written, I think it probably was considered young adult, but I think that in today's world, I think that it might be called more tween or middle grade romance. So in this one, we meet Shelley, who spends an entire year of high school in California away from her family, miles away from her mom and dad. She's an only child, and she goes to stay with her mom's best friend from college and her family in California, where she meets a whole new group of friends, and they have a whole new way of doing things at this high school. And it was a lot of fun. Of course, it reminded me of Jean and Johnny in 15, and I had read the story before, but I couldn't remember it that well until I started reading it, and then it came back to me as I read along. But I just enjoyed it so much. So there is a little romance, of course. I did read this again for retro romance, and she thinks she is the luckiest girl because this basketball star is interested in her, and they start dating. But then things change, and it's like, is this really what I want? And do we really have that much in common? And those kind of things are answered in this book. Super cute. I really enjoyed it. So a couple things I really enjoyed about this book was positive family message. In this story, Shelley, when she moves away and she has time away from her mom, she starts seeing things from a different perspective. And as she sees the mom that she's living with and her daughter and how their relationship is, she starts seeing things about her own relationship with her mom, and she appreciates her mom more and is able to see from the mom's point of view more by by staying with this other family. So I like the family message, and also the family, there's a lot of team effort in the family as well, and I like that dynamic. And also it's a wholesome coming of age story, and I love those. Obviously I do, because I love Beverly Cleary, and her stories are always full of wonderful, wholesome family events. And so that was why I enjoyed this one so much. So of course I will revisit this many times because I love it so much. And then I was in the mood for more like this, so I decided to pick up Meet the Malones. Now this is a series that you may not know about. This is the Beanie Malone series, and I have I think about a dozen of these books. I actually found this one recently. This is a library copy of Beanie Malone, which is the second in this series. This is the first, and of course it's called Meet the Malones because you are introduced to Beanie Malone's family, and it's wonderful. I just loved it so much, and I found, I think, about a dozen of these. They're paperbacks, but they had been republished. And at Second and Charles a couple of years ago, I was in the children's section and they were having this huge sale. It was like buy two get one free or something. So I picked them all up because they were super cheap, and you can't find these. I don't even know if they're in print anymore. So I was excited to find that. Anyway, Meet the Malones is very similar to Beverly Cleary type books if you like that. But there are more than a dozen in the Beanie Malone series. So if you enjoyed this first one, you could continue going with these books. So in this particular one, it is about the entire family, but we do focus mainly on Beanie's older sister, Mary Frank. Is that her name? No, Mary Fred. Her name is Mary Fred. I knew it was an F name. So Mary Fred she has a crush on someone at school. He starts giving her some attention, and she starts struggling with fulfilling her family responsibilities as well as trying to be the girl who gets the attention from this popular guy at school. It is precious. It is a very wholesome coming of age type story, and I loved it, and I can't wait to pick up Beanie Malone next. I'm just in the mood for these books after reading this one. So the things I loved about this book, Meet the Malones, was family dynamic. I loved how the family pulled together and worked together and just supported one another. The domestic detail, there's a lot of fun domestic details about one of the girls in the family wants to redo her room, and there's a lot of details about that. There's details about the food that they're cooking, the clothes they're wearing, and I just really enjoyed that about it. And it's just a wholesome classic style story, which of course if you follow my channel, you know I can't get enough of. So I highly recommend the Beanie Malone series. And again, I've only read this first one, but I can't wait to read more. Okay, so here's my dilemma, and I need your help, and I kind of want to discuss this in the comments. So if you know anything about this book, or if you just have an opinion of what you think I should do, let me know in the comments. But I have started 8 Cousins by Louisa May Alcott. This is one of the classics on my list that I want to read this year. And I have this one, I have Little Men, I have Joe's Boys. This is the sequel to 8 Cousins, Rose in Bloom. And then I also have by Louisa May Alcott, A Garland for Girls, and this is a short story collection. Okay, so I have 5 Louisa May Alcott books that I have not read. I have only read the first 2 in the Little Women series. Here's the thing, I love Little Women. I really enjoy that, but it's not my favorite book. It's okay. I think it's a great classic and it's worth it. I do like watching the little, although I haven't seen as many as everyone else. There's several movie adaptations of Little Women, and I've enjoyed the couple that I've seen of that. But it's not like Jane Austen is to me, like Pride and Prejudice or something. This to me just reads outdated, and I'm on page 80. And there are not that many pages in this. It's not that long. It's 253 pages. But I'm at the point right now that I'm really not enjoying it. This was published in 1875. And I love like wholesome type, like I love Pollyanna. A lot of people don't like Pollyanna. They think it's too saccharine sweet and too goody. But I love that. I happen to enjoy that book. Rebecca of Sunnybrook Farm, I didn't like as much, but I did enjoy that one. Of course, I love Anne of Green Gables. And again, this was published in 1875. And so that is not the problem with this wholesome classic book. It just feels outdated to me. And I love Jane Austen, and I looked up Emma. Emma was published in 1815, y'all. 1815, and it reads like something I feel you could read today. And so, I'm reading Jane Austen, and it's all of those feel a lot more updated than this does. Does anybody else feel that way, or is it just me? Am I the only person that's not over the moon for Louisa May Alcott? Now, this is the problem. I have all of these books still to read. Should I continue, or should I just put them to the side and come back? I'm not sure, because I'm just not feeling it. I have them, and if there's one on here that you think, oh, I get it, no, you probably like this better, tell me. Now, the short stories I might keep, because I do like just reading short story collections. And I have a short story collection from Louisa May Alcott that one of you gave me that I loved. I don't think I ever talked about it because I never finished all of them, but the few short stories that were more like novellas, so they took me longer to read. They were great, but they were sort of gothic type. They had a gothic type feel. This does not even feel like how she wrote Little Women to me. So let me know what you think. Should I just set these aside? Should I just unhaul them? What should I do? Let me know in the comments, because I do love classic literature. I do. And there's a lot of books that are my all-time favorite books that were written a lot earlier than this, but this seems a lot more outdated. I don't know what it is about this book, but we're not getting along. So I'm thinking of not finishing this one. And I hate not to, though, because another thing that I was going to mention just a minute ago and forgot. Okay, I read this book called Eden's Outcast, and it is about Louisa May Alcott and her father. It's like a biography of the two of them. It is fascinating. It is the best biography I have ever read. I was just fascinated by it. And as I'm reading this, I'm seeing that relationship because she struggled with her father. Her father was absent a lot of the time, and they about starved while he was off doing his thing. So I was fascinated by that book. And I'm seeing in here, like, there's a lot about, there's a new way of educating the children that she talks about in here. Well, that's what he was doing. He was out doing that while he wasn't seeing about his family, basically. And they were starving to death. So I'm seeing that. I'm seeing her need for a father with this uncle that shows up at the beginning of the story and their relationship. And all the things that she is... he is just showering her with all these gifts. I'm seeing that maybe that is why she is writing the story, because of all the things she feels she missed as a young girl with her father being absent so much. But at the same time, she appreciated the things that her father was trying to do out in the world, because he was trying to create this like utopian society. If you haven't read Eden's Outcast, I highly recommend it. But the sad thing is, I don't recommend this. I do not recommend this. And so, I don't know. I'm pretty much talking myself out of finishing this. But it's a beautiful copy. And I don't know. I want to love Louisa May Alcott because I loved her story so much in that biography. And so, I'm struggling with this. So, what should I do? Should I just put it to the side and maybe read it later? Are there other books that you think are better than Eight Cousins? Because Rose in Bloom, I think, is a sequel to this. So let me know in the comments what you think I should do. And yeah, I think at this moment, I'm just going to set this aside. But let me know what you think. So anyway, I hate to end on such a low note, but I'm just not enjoying that book. But I did love Meet the Malones and The Luckiest Girl. They were great. So those are the books I've been reading. Let me know what you've been reading, and let me know what to do about this Louisa May Alcott problem. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.